Are you ready? It's time for another great infotaining show filled with power-packed business and life information. Welcome to Your Future Is Now with your host, Jim Grant, and co-host, Don McGrath. Want to know how to create a fantastic TED Talk? Or how you can become an author or a speaker or build your own online business? Maybe it's reaching a level of success in your life that you deserve. Their show is designed to provide information to assist you towards your success and destiny. Each week, Jim and Don will interview a special guest and share exciting lessons. So grab a pen and paper, take some notes. Thanks for joining the show. Now, here's Jim.
Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Your Future Is Now is sponsored by speakerspathway.com. I'm Jim Grant, and we got a great show for you today. We've got a great host, and Dr. Karen Perkins that will join us here in a few minutes. First of all, I want to say hello to my co-host and good friend, business partner, co-founder of speakerspathway.com. I've got two questions to ask Dandy Don. Number one, Dandy Don, how you doing today, sir? And number two, where in the world are you, brother?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. I got my coffee. I'm all ready for the day, and I'm actually in Pleasant Creek, Utah, at a campground. I'm sitting in a pavilion, and it's just amazing to me that with today's technology, you know, I did the show from Winslow, Arizona, on the corner. I did it from other campgrounds, and here I am sitting in a campground doing a radio show. I just love this laptop lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Last week we talked about creating a laptop lifestyle career, and that's very, very valuable for a lot of people, especially like military spouses. A lot of people do not realize that whenever a military family gets transferred, 13% of the spouses are male, and when they get transferred from, let's say, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, guess what happens to their job? It doesn't transfer. And the unemployment rate is like 3 times higher. So Dandy Don and I, we put on an event back in January called the Pathway for Vets. And it's an ongoing program to help people, you know, like military spouses and also people that's getting ready to leave the military, transition back into civilian life. We help them to determine what it is that they want to do and provide the training and the coaching at speakerspathway.com to create the laptop lifestyle career, and I really like it. How about you, Dandy?
Absolutely. It's a lot of times where people transitioning out of the military just have a hard time fitting into a job kind of a situation, a job kind of a situation. But having their own business allows them the situation and the flexibility that they need. And it's been absolutely fantastic working with some of the vets.
It really is, and because one of the most important things, and Emerson Brantley covered this last week, and Dr. Karen Perkins is going to nail this to the wall this week, so you're in for a treat. But always look at a person's why. Why are they doing what they're doing? At speakerspathway.com, our why is that we want to help people get from where they are to where they want to be. We don't try to tell you this is what you need to do. Because me being a Vietnam veteran, I know very well how I felt when I came home and everybody wanted me to fit inside of a box or fit inside society's rules. And I had too much baggage for that, and I didn't want to put up with that nonsense. But my point being, with Emerson, he pointed out, what's your why? Why are you doing this? A lot of people are trying to help people. Others are just trying to make money. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you're looking at folks on the internet, try to figure out what is their why? That's very, very important. Would you agree with that, Don?
Absolutely. And, a lot of times when you talk about your why, Emerson was kind of educating us. A lot of us business owners think about, well, what is our why for having a business? But he said, flip it around and think about what is the why for the person that you want to serve, for your customer or potential customer. What is their why? Why would they choose you? Why are you the only person who can help them in the way they need to be helped? And so I thought that was just fantastic insights that he gave us last week.
It really was, because I remember Don and we took a course that Emerson taught, and I forget the question. I said this last week on the air too, ladies and gentlemen, but Emerson asked me a question and I gave him an answer, and he looked at me and he said, well, so what? I'm going like, okay, somebody throw me a tow rope here because I'm definitely down in the deep on that one. But I mean, he asked you real life questions that, get you to thinking. And today, as we're going to shift gears and move up to another higher gear with Dr. Karen Perkins join us, I mean, she's going to talk about creating a first-class lifestyle. Wow. Last week, we talked about a laptop lifestyle career, and Karen's going to talk today about a first-class lifestyle. Holy smokes. Don, can it possibly get any better than that?
All I got to say is, who doesn't want to travel first class? We've all traveled not first class, probably. And the difference between that, traveling coach, for example, and traveling first class, you know what it is. You get the recline in the recliner, you get the nuts, you get the champagne. It's way better. So I'm really excited to have Karen on and have her ever share more about that with us.
Oh, yeah. And I was looking at Karen's credentials fair as far as her education. She's a doctorate in business administration. She has an MBA in project management and human behavior. She's a certified public manager, a certified hypnotherapist. She's a certified coach and facilitator. And Don and I, we have seen her teaching classes. And we've been around her, I have many times, and I can tell you, she's also a certified first-class lady. I tell you, she's just the complete package. And when I read all these credentials about her and what she's done in her life, I'm going like, holy smoke, she's trained over 500,000 people around the world. Don, if I had done something like that, I'd be telling everybody, and she never does mention it. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I was reading over her information, yesterday, and I was thinking, gosh, I hope we're worthy, worthy of having her on the show. But like you said, she's just a wonderful, really fun person, and I'm really looking forward to the fun that we're going to have on the show today with her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I believe Dr. Karen Perkins is with us. If you'd like to introduce her, Don, and welcome her to the show, please do so. Let's give her a great round of applause.
Excellent. So, please just join me in welcoming Dr. Karen Perkins to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Karen.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here with you guys, and I hope I'm worthy to be with you.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. What I was telling Don earlier, I said, she's going to sound so intelligent. I hope I don't sound like I'm dumb or something,
I don't think I'm any smarter than anyone else. I just have one area of I have a couple of areas of expertise, and so do you, and so does everyone else. So we just all have our niche, and we just need to appreciate it and love it.
That's really true, isn't it? Because I tell people all the time, Karen, that look at your thumbprint. You know that ever since the beginning of time till the end of time, no one's ever had your thumbprint. So your challenge in life is how are you going to be able to reach out and leave your imprint on people that you can help? And that's the true calling for everyone. That's the way I look at it. And that's part of the message we share. And after reading what you've done, it seems like you're in that same category. Am I correct on that?
Oh, absolutely. One of the things my baby sister taught me, humbling, 10 years younger than me, and she looked at me one day and said, Karen, because everybody's talking about this inheritance they're going to leave for their kids, and she said, an inheritance is what you leave for other people. A legacy, though, is what you leave in other people. And that really struck me. In fact, I think that was the beginning of my thought process of the journey I'm now on. And then we have some other things that just really pushed me to that point where there was no option but to go down this direction for me. But I really liked that. What legacy are you leaving in other people?
Absolutely. And I mean, like Don and I, we met at, a speaking event, and we kept crisscrossing. And the thing that, when you said that, what brought to my mind is we're all social creatures. We all have something to give. And like your sister shared something with you that enabled you to take it to the next level. And that's extremely important. That's very important. That's why we're here on planet Earth. It's not about money. It's about how can we, help someone change their life and be a blessing to them in bottom line. And I know Don has been a big time blessing to me. And Dandy Don, I just want to humbly say thank you, brother, for being who you are and being part of my life. It's been a wonderful pleasure for me. And I thank you, sir.
Well, you betcha, and right back at you. And you've added so much fun and adventure into my life, and I really do appreciate that. And, one thing you said, Karen, you never know when that one thing you say could change the course of someone's life. It could just be this thing that's, you say all the time, or just a kind of a random idea that seems just so natural to you, but you put it forth to someone and you can actually change their lives with one thing like your sister did for you. I just find that amazing.
It is, and it's it's off topic, but it's right on topic. I had a client one day. Actually, I was teaching a course and a huge room of people, and we were talking about the importance each one of us have. And the guy said, yes, you never know when just a mere smile will save the lives of several. And everybody just kind of looked at him, and we said, okay, now you have to share. And he shared, and I'll do it very quickly, though, a story about his mother was an unwed mother, and her baby was born, and 3 days later her father kicked her out of the house because she was unwed and unworthy. And she took every last penny she had, was at the bus station, considering which city to go to drop her baby at a church doorstep and commit suicide.
Wow.
Because she knew she couldn't take care of that baby, and she was done. And there was another woman there that just kept looking at her and smiling and nodding. And every time she smiled and nodded, the young girl got warmer heart and thought, well, maybe, just maybe. And for some reason, the lady got up and came, sat next to her, and started talking to her. And, long story short, the gal lived. Her child lived with her. She had a few more. She ended up working for this lady and becoming an executive. But that smile kept that young woman from committing suicide. And, it's that simple.
We're getting ready to break we'll be ready to break for a message. We'll pick up on this when we come back. Thank you, ladies. Gentlemen.
SpeakersPathway.com is the proud sponsor of Your Future Is Now, a show dedicated and aligned in perfect harmony with the vision and mission of Speakers Pathway. Dr. Sony Jackson's expertise is on the art of marketing while cultivating a long-term customer relationship in your business world. Do you know what to say or how to deliver your message to complete strangers? If so, Sony can help you. Tamara Hunter is a cancer survivor and works with people to focus their message or mission to the audience they want to reach. Do you feel called to create a movement to make the world a better place? If so, Tamara can help you. For additional information from any of our executive training directors, go to speakerspathway.com. That is, speakerspathway.com.
Did you hear about the Gaberlunzie bear caught rummaging through a refrigerator in an apartment in Colorado? The tenant heard noises coming from the kitchen and saw a bear with his head in the fridge, looking for anything it could eat. What's a word for food that's unfit for human consumption? Ma wallop. The tenant locked himself in his bedroom and called for help. What's a word for the fear of bears? Ursophobia. We have lots of bears near our Colorado cabin, and we have been told that pepper spray will keep them away. But the idea that it would keep a 500-pound grizzly bear from attacking seems ridiculous to me. I think I'll try the pepper spray on myself and hope the bear doesn't like spicy foods.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Your Future is Now is sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com. And just right before the break, in fact, we were running into the break, Dr. Karen Perkins was sharing with us about a young lady who had a very serious problem on her hands. She was an unwed mother, and she had the baby, and the father kicked her out. And I'm going to let Dr. Karen Perkins pick up with that wonderful, inspirational story. Dr. Karen, if you would, please.
Yeah, when he told me that story in that course, in fact, the whole room was crying by the time he was done. I realized that so many times we get so wrapped up in our moment, we just forget to look around us. We forget to smile at people. It's not like you need to stop and talk to them in reality, unless you need to or want to, but just walking down the street, smiling and nodding at people. You never know who needs that. And as Don was saying earlier, you say something and you have no idea how it's going to impact somebody else and make it be that turning point. And, this young man was a very successful man. In fact, he was living first class. He was there in the course and on really almost completely there at this moment. But it was just one of those, what is it that I'm doing that makes me happy, which without even knowing it, because I'm happy, it helps other people learn something, it helps them grow, it actually may save their life.
That's really amazing, because one of the things that Don and I have always believed in, and that is trying to reach out and help someone. And to give you an idea of the impact that you have on people, there's one incident that happened that in my life where a person that I know, he's a cousin to my wife, and he saw me after about 20 years. I hadn't seen this guy in about 20 years, and he says, "Wow, every time I think of you, I remember yada, da, 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 some little insignificant event." And I'm going like, yeah, I kind of remember that. I hadn't thought of it, since that time. But that was a thing that he attached my name to. And that's why it's critical when you're wanting to make a positive imprint on someone, look at it for what's in it for them and not what's in it for you. Classic example, right. Don and I, we practice this on the show, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Don in just a moment. But when we put on a show, it's not what we want to say, and the guest is not what our guests want to say. It's what does the audience really need to hear. That's the reason why we have Your Future is Now. Would you agree with that, sir?
Absolutely. And when I trained for a while with Les Brown, and I remember him vividly telling us, "It's not about you, Buttercup." That's the way. Les called you Buttercup.
Did Les call you Buttercup?
Yeah. That's really. And we work with one of our executive training directors, Bill Heinrich, is very much about finding your true life's purpose. And it's just following that energy and giving and giving. And in giving, things arise for us.
Yes, and
Buttercup, I have to tell you, it's not all about you, and it's not all about me. And to piggyback on what Jim was saying, when we've done things together, it's never been about me because of the situation we were in. It was about you. And that's why I laughed when you guys were saying, I had no idea she did all those things. At that point, it wasn't about me, and you didn't need me, or I would have said, hey, here's something you can look into. That being said, though, I have been on the road speaking, forever, for over 20 years, and along with the coaching and the consulting. I cannot tell you. People are like, you don't have that memorized. I'm like, no. I get up there, and what comes, comes. I mean, I have the general premise. I know my topic. I know my information. But you really just have to sit back and let your heart and mind feel the audience and what they need to hear. But I cannot tell you how many times I've returned to a city, and someone has run up and hugged me, and for either you saved my life or you changed my course or my kid needed this and you helped me through. And then they repeat what I said, and I think, wow, that's profound. I don't remember ever hearing that. And it's like I'm sure That's not what I said, but that's what they heard because they needed to.
Yeah.
But, it isn't about me. And with what Bill Heinrich does, and I love Bill, and what Emerson does, and what you guys do, it's all about finding that why, but I take it one level deeper. Part of my program is, I hate to use the word trick, but there's no better way to use it. I don't want to say force. I have an activity I allow people to do that honestly, they don't realize what they're doing until they're done. But when they're done, they 100% have determined what their true core value is. Now, once you know what your true core value is, now you can find your why from that. You can find your life purpose from that. You can build your business and your relationship and the things you do in life from that. And now you align everything along that way, and you find that this success in abundance flows your way, and not just money. I mean, money's great. Hey, we all love it and want it, and we can do fabulous things with money, and not just for ourselves. I mean, help people who need a hand up, go build schools and villages that need them. I mean, whatever. But first-class relationships, first-class interpersonal relationship, because sometimes we don't have a good relationship with ourselves. I mean, first class all the way around, because many times we get on that path in life that we think is going to bring us the happiness we need because we've logicked out what do I need to do so that I can retire with money, or so that I can do this or I can do that. And we get down the path, or we arrive and we go, is this it? I thought that was going to be better than this. And what I'm saying is the path you take and when you arrive needs to be every morning. Somebody said this to me the other day, so I'm going to repeat it. You guys ready? Hold your seats.
Okay.
They said, your course doesn't teach people to wake up happy every morning. It helps people to wake up every morning and feel like they've just had the best sex of their life every single day. I thought that was pretty good. I thought, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah, I hear you. I can do. I may need to take that course. But it's really amazing, because what I really enjoy about what you're saying there, what Don is saying there, it's all about giving, and you can't outgive the master giver, and the rewards that you get from it is just something that money can't buy. You think about the joy and the jubilee. In my course, Dr. Karen, I'd like to share this with you. I was writing my course, the future is now, and I've got embracing change in there, and got all these topics, and I'm spinning my wheels, and I had a brain cramp. And I walked away, and it came to me the next day. I woke up early, about the LLAR. That's Lima, Alpha, Romeo in the phonetic alphabet. The first L stands for love. Everybody wants to be loved. The second L wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be liked. The A stands for appreciation. Everyone wants to be appreciated. And number 4, Aretha Franklin spelled this out for me when I was in high school, RESPECT. Everyone wants to be respected. Therefore, if we have that mindset when we look at others, a lot of the things that we're trying to accomplish fall into place effortlessly. And Don and I, we saw that at the Go ahead, ma'am.
Go ahead. Nope, go ahead. You are on a good roll. I want to hear it.
Oh, I was just going to say, Don and I, we experienced that at the Pathway for Vets event there in College Station, listen to me, Colorado Springs, back in January. We put all the pieces together. We were all worried about the process, and then just by dumb luck, we got out of the process and got out of the way, and we let the energy flow. And people thought we just put on one of the greatest events that they'd ever seen. And we were just kind of like impressed with them as much as they were with us in the event, because we're focused on, okay, where's our signs? Can people find us here in this resort? Do we have enough coffee? Jim, did you, I don't know, Don, I don't know where, I think
the way it really went is I was the one who was all worried about those things. And Jim kept saying, it'll be fine, Don. And you know what? It was fine. So
yeah. I tell you, we had a lot of fun in doing that. Go ahead, Doc.
I have to share a funny thing on that, though, because really what it comes down to is how people feel about you and you make them feel about themselves. I used to, when I'm still on the road now, but when I was in physically a different city every single day, I mean, I did that. Gosh, I've been doing this for 30 years. I did that for about 20 years. But if the shuttle driver that picked me up at the airport was nice and kind and polite, and then the front desk agent was nice, I didn't care if there was hair in the bed and the tub and everything else, because, hey, I understand sometimes hair doesn't come out. But I'll tell you what, if that shuttle driver was not polite and kind, there was nothing that hotel could do right. And it wasn't a conscious thing, it was subconscious. And it was when it finally occurred to me, I thought, you know what, that's a good customer service training, but it's also a good personal training. And, you know, the coffee and things, yeah, you want it because you want your people to be comfortable. But if you have all that, but you're too harried to allow them to feel loved and like welcome home, coffee doesn't matter. And so, I mean, definitely, you know, have the coffee and things. But it's how you make them feel that determines how open they're going to be to what it is you have to share.
There's a lot of truth in that. You're exactly right. Yeah.
You two are perfect at making people feel loved and at home.
Well, you know, the bottom line is, you know, it's really kind of simple because I was brought up to treat people the same way you want to be treated. And there was a couple of times I didn't get it. So mother used something called thump therapy. And then I got it, you know, when I was not behaving myself.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Don, I'm going to let you share a little bit about how people hung around for 45 minutes after each day of the event there. Just amazed us, didn't it?
Yeah, long after the coffee was gone, long after everything, the event was over, people hung out because I think you're exactly right, Karen. That we made them feel like they were worth being there.
We're getting ready for our station break. We'll be right back right after these messages.
This show, Your Future Is Now, is sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com. And just like the show, we are dedicated and aligned in perfect harmony with the same vision and mission of helping people to find their future. Is fear holding you back from your calling or your life mission? Do you struggle with taking that first step? If so, Bill Henrich is our catalyst to help you create perspectives with new possibilities that will bring you more peace, more joy, more love in your life and freedom. Do you struggle trying to build your strategy? Do you know how to reach your end results? If not, Gigi Ames is your expert in strategy and helping you create your step-by-step game plan to reach your finish line. For more information on creating the life you want to live, reach out to Bill Henrich. Or if Gigi Ames can help you with building your strategy with your end goal in sight, go to SpeakersPathway.com. That is SpeakersPathway.com.
It's words you never heard.
Big girls don't cry, right? According to a recent Wall Street Journal article by Dennis Nishi, there's a stigma attached to turning on the waterworks at the office. 61% of men who reported crying at work cited personal reasons, an illness in the family, the death of a pet is the catalyst. While 58% of women said it was something that happened at work, being unfairly blamed or criticized. Men are like mascara. They run at the first sign of hubbub. That's another word for crying. What's the word for the fear of intense emotion? Zelophobia. Women may have a better excuse for crying than men, as females have higher levels of prolactin, which encourages the production of tears, making it easier to be known as a lachrymist, or someone who cries at the drop of a hat.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Your Future is Now is sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com. And with us today, Dandy Don and I, we have a wonderful guest, Dr. Karen Perkins. And we've been talking with her. She's been sharing some information with us. Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. So be sure and get your pencil and paper or your pen and paper, because she's going to talk about us, how we can live a first-class lifestyle. Now, Dandy Don, how does that grab you? Tell me true.
I just can't wait to hear. I want to hear more. So Karen, tell us more.
Tell you more. Well, really all starts out with, what does first class mean to you? I mean, is it sitting in the front of the plane? And I have to tell you, my feelings are almost hurt if I don't get upgraded. It's like, what? But that's because I travel so much. But, is it really sitting in the, front part of the plane? Is it the fancy car? Is it traveling the world? Well, it might be. Or is it spending more time with your family, or being able to relax in the mountains or on a beach? Or, what is first class really to you? And to each one of us is something different. And, for me, first class is being physically, mentally, and financially fit enough to be of good to the world. And that sounds, you're like, what? But that is what first class is to me. And so the first class system all comes out of, first, think about that. But then we go over what really is your true core value. And like I told you before, there is no way for them to come up with a non-core value. There really isn't. And I've had grown men and women weep as they've done this activity, as reality set in. And, where are we spending our time? Is it toward our core value or not? And then we go over all the things you do. Now you know your core value. How do you get where you want to go? And, you guys were talking about, the interpersonal relationships and communicating. And that's a big part of what we talk about, too, is how do you identify a person's personality? In fact, in under 1 minute with 2 simple questions, you can identify the 4 core personalities. Just 2 simple questions, anybody you meet. And we go over that, and we practice it. And I like to use animals for the personalities because people remember that. I can never remember what's the yellow or purple or orange or whatever. But, we have the peacock, the lion, the owl, and the lamb. Well, most people in their mind go, okay, yeah, the peacock's going to be your socializer. They're all flamboyant and out there. Your lion's your A-type personality. Yeah, they can jump in and grab it. Your lamb's all soft and cuddly. In fact, they give the wool right off their back. And we all think of the wise old owl. Those are your analytical people. Well, you think about it that fast, and then we go over what all of their needs are, what their likes are, their turn-offs, what their loves are, and their strengths, their limitations, key words to use when you're communicating, the way you communicate, how much, how little, when, and you go through all of that. And when you instantly identify that and you talk to them, and like Stephen Covey's 5th habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Once I understand what you need and I speak to you in the manner in which you hear, and then I listen to you in the manner in which you speak, instead of trying to force you to speak and repeat or, listen the way I speak, then we have better communications, which means better negotiations. It means higher sales and closings of deals. It means improved relationships. Everything in life improves. And, and we go over some body language. How do you know? Hey, Jim does this all the time. 'Cause I know he goes to the bar to pick up girls. Just kidding, Jim. He's like, no, I don't. But how can you sit across the room and look at somebody and know instantly if they're interested in talking to you or not? And that doesn't just go in, picking someone up at the bar. How do you know if a client's interested or not? How do you know if a boss or with an interview is interested or not? What can you do to help change that interest? Or can you instantly look at them and say, not a point to waste my time, move on? So we go over those things, and then we go over stress. But, there's just so much involved, but it's all so simple. And Jim, I think you've seen it. I've got the 6-step blueprint, but then we go into each area in that blueprint. But I want to go back to the animals because I think core values and understanding people's personalities and how to talk to them probably is the base to everything we get in life. Because everything we get in life that we don't do, we get from somebody else. Everything. Your electricity comes from somebody else. Everything. And so it's important to do that. And, how do you keep that at your fingertips and always know? And I have to tell you, in fact, I'm going to tell you, you guys got to get it. Darwin, y'all know Dr. Darwin, my husband.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He took all of my material and he put together the most beautiful home study kit I have ever seen. But some of the things we put in there, we have flashcards for the animals. Each animal's got 13 cards, tells them how to talk to each of the other animals, how to know and understand each of them and their likes and dislikes. I cannot tell you the salespeople that take those and pin them on their wall. We have what we call you'll like this. You ready for this one? We have the covert animal advantage. We've got 5 cards, gives them the 2 questions to ask, how to figure it out, and then one, I don't want to say cheater card, but one quick card they can just look at and say, okay, this is how I deal with them. And now if I need to get into the deep and dirty, I've got the other information I can get to, but here's the real thing. And, you don't think about how easy those tools are to change your life. But, once I know my core value is, in fact, I had a disagreement with somebody. Part of my core value, as you heard, my first class is money. And people said, well, you have so much to give, you should just be giving it away to people. And I said, I would rather make money doing it so that I have the resources to give people what they need physically as well. Because if I have that, I can serve both needs. And it's not that I want money so that, I can wear, 10 pounds of diamonds and whatever. It's, in fact, most people that look at me say, oh, yep, she's a girl from the hills.
It's interesting, Karen, that we run into this quite a bit, that there's a mindset around success that many people, and people who might be listening to this right now might be thinking, I'm not sure I deserve a first-class lifestyle. And do you run into that where, people are you have to get them over that hump of believing that they're deserving of the help?
Yeah, well, the I am worthy, the I am motivated, well, it's first class is for someone else. First class is for those who were born with the silver spoon. No, first class is for everybody. And if you look at some of the self-made billionaires, they came from nothing. Some of them didn't even come from education. And, some of them, yes, came from money. But it's a mindset. Everything, it's a mindset, and that's, one of the things we do. And you guys do. It's the mindset. If you see a billionaire lose everything they have and be beyond broke, you can guarantee they'll be a billionaire again in a few years because they know they deserve it and they can. Mm-hmm. But you give somebody who is average, who starts to go broke, they're like, I'll never get out of this. Because they don't believe that they deserve it, and they don't believe that they can. Yet they have every skill and ability if they're focusing in the right area. And every one of us, and that's, something all of us have to help people with, is that you are worthy. You are 100% worthy. And, Jim, I know you teach them how to love themselves. We need to talk about an activity to add to that. But I think along with that is we need to allow to hear other people love us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree
People
with
say
you. Yeah.
nice things to you, and what's the first thing you do? You either downplay it or you tell them they're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, what a lovely outfit. What, this old thing? Sorry, I said anything.
I hear you.
You know?
It's really amazing how Don and I, if I can use as an example, when we had a dream to put the speakerspathway.com together, we knew we didn't know everything, and we knew we were going to need some subject matter experts in there. We're going to need some help. But the entire focus of that was not about us building an organization. It was us providing a valuable service to help others get from where they were to where they want to be. Because Don and I, we saw a lot of things broken, and we could have done one or two things. We could have complained about it or did something about it. And it takes courage to do something about it, just like living the first-class lifestyle you're talking about, Karen. My goodness, that takes a belief system that you are worthy. It really does.
100% belief system, and sometimes that belief system just comes from a flicker of hope. And then hope turns into faith that it's going to happen, and then faith into belief, and belief into knowledge and happening. And, we all need that flicker of hope, and that's what you do. That's what I try and do is give them that hope, but then, and as you, give them the tools so that they can quickly get from hope to knowledge. And, I love how you do, you see that and you want to help them, so you do, and that's part of your first class, is the joy in helping others find their first class. And you know what they say, achievers take action and losers give excuses.
Yep.
And how many times have people done that?
We'll be back right after these messages, ladies and gentlemen, so please stay with us.
Your Future Is Now is sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com, and just like the show, we are dedicated and aligned in perfect harmony with the same vision and mission of helping people define their future. You may have heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 1,000 pictures. Koji Sumaldi says if you're not using video in 2019, you're going to get left behind. Most people feel lost or confused when it comes to marketing. Preston Martelli is a marketing guru whose strategies are both art and science in growing your business. Preston helps you make the right decisions that are predictable, measurable, and scalable. For additional information about Koji, Preston, or any of our executive training directors, go to our website at speakerspathway.com. That is speakerspathway.com.
Got a lead foot? According to state troopers, here's what not to do when you get pulled over. Don't be a lachrymous and start crying right away. It doesn't help. But if you're under 20, crying won't be held against you. Don't ask for a break, and don't yell or start any argy-bargy. And one trooper said, if they're going to flirt with me to get out of a ticket, it would probably insult my intelligence. But unfortunately, I don't get hit on all that often. So flirting or being a gill flirt won't work. Did you know that 15% of all drivers get 76% of all traffic tickets? And the odds of winning if you challenge a traffic ticket in court are 1 in 3. So what should you do when you get pulled over for speeding? Be courteous to the officer, and most of all, be honest.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Your Future Is Now is sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com. And with us today is Dr. Karen Perkins and the co-founder of SpeakersPathway.com, Dandy Don McGrath. Dandy Don, has Karen opened our eyes on a few things?
Wow, it's absolutely powerful. And one thing I really loved that Karen shared with us is, living the first-class lifestyle, and how that could be different for everyone. That for me, it's sitting in a campsite here somewhere in Utah getting ready to go climb for the rest of the day. And for some people, that would be torture. So it's really about understanding what your first class is. And so I love that, Karen. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. And I think society as a whole has formed what is first class, what is wealth, what is, and you know what? It's, like you said, different for everyone. And, sitting on a beach is not for everybody, but being at a campsite, for some, that is just fabulous. And for others, it's like, what?
Like torture. It's like,
no. We're like you. Yeah. We live on the road. We're home free on purpose. People say, where do you live? And we say the Marriott. And they're like, well, where's your home? The Marriott. Well, which one? Uh-huh. And people are like, well, don't you want to? Well, yeah, we have places to land, and we do, but we love being on the road all the time. It's not a lifestyle for everyone. It's not. My youngest hates leaving the house. He'd rather order from Amazon and have his friends come. And it's not that he's, afraid. He just is a homebody. Me, I'm at a house, my house, my kid's house or Darwin's kid's house for more than 3 days. And I'm like, get me the heck out of here. And it's not that I don't want to be with people. It's just I like my lifestyle. And so, yes, it is different for everybody. And because a lot of us in our mind have set it up for, I'm not worthy because I've heard that this is what it is. I think a lot of it's subconscious. That's not necessarily what I want, or I'm not worthy of it because somebody said to me, and I was hypnotized in my youth, that, that's only for some. That's only for the wealthy. That's only for and then the 1%ers, oh my goodness, they're just evil. Well, why? They've worked for that money. They're not evil. Well, they bought a yacht. How dare they? They weren't helping people. Honey, having money is great because let them have their yacht and their $50 billion mansion. Who cares? They also spent $50,000 billion helping other people. And if you don't have money, you don't have the money to help other people. So it's not that money's evil, and I'm not saying you don't want it. Money is just money. And I think it was Marshall Silver that said that having money just makes you more of who you really are. And if you're evil, it will allow you to be more evil. And if you're good, it will allow you to do more good. And it's not all about money. So, take money out of the equation. Yeah, money's great. Everybody, I hope, has enough to have what they want and need. But it's the other things. It's feeling worthy. It's waking up every day knowing that today is the best day of my life. And it's that motivation. And when you've had some say that word right. When you've had some setbacks, and I know veterans have a lot of setbacks. Oh my goodness, what you go through there in the field, and there, well, even just with the organization, and then you come home and there's setbacks. Period. And there are, and you have them, and your heart goes, well, I guess I'm not appreciated. I guess I don't deserve to be. I guess I'm not worthy. I didn't get the first 200 jobs I applied for. I'm going to give up. I have no hope. I have no will. What do I do? And it's helping them get the mindset of what they need to do, how they need to do it, when they need to do it, and not because Karen said, here's what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you need to do it, or that Buttercup, Andy Don, that's going to be your name for me, that Buttercup said, here's your path, or that Jim said, here's your path. Is that we said, what's your path, and what do you think the first step will be, and how can we support you to get there? And if they flounder, that we say, okay, you're off track a little bit. What can we do to help you get back on track? And it's coming up with their own blueprint for life.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. I like that, because two of the things I want to pick back up on is like money. I have seen in my personal life that money will bring out everyone's true colors. It just does, whether it's good, better, and different. But most importantly, I want to go back to, like the military spouses and military personnel. I understand the downshift because you're trained to go to war, but no one trained you to come home. And, you think about creating the lifestyle that you want. It's kind of like Karen and Don and I have been talking about during this hour here. It's kind of like, well, let's go out and get a delicious meal. Okay, I may like some tacos and some frijoles and tamales, and someone else may want some, Chinese food or whatever. So whatever delicious meal is for me may not be the delicious meal for you. And that's one of the things we want to build upon and help you to be able to have the courage to say, hey, I'm worthy to live my own lifestyle. That's the message that's been just coming over and over and over what Karen's been saying today. And she gives some examples in her personal life, how she lives her life. And Dandy Don, before I forget, before you reach through the mic here and slap me, it is time for our Friday freebie. Sir, what do you have on the menu for us today, sir?
Yeah, I was ribbing you through the internet because I didn't want us to go without doing the Friday freebie. So I've been working on how to win TEDx stages and how to give great TEDx talks. So people sometimes say, "Gosh, what would I talk about?" So if you're out there and you're thinking, "Gosh, I would love to give a TED talk or TEDx talk, but I have no idea what my big idea would be," I'd like to offer you a 30-minute consultation where you and I will get on the phone, and within 30 minutes, you'll get clarity on what your TED topic should be. So all you have to do is go to speakerspathway.com, go to the contact page, and just say TEDx consultation with Don, and we'll arrange a time.
That's really amazing, Don, because, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that I know a few speakers, you might say, but when it comes to speaker training and when it comes to the TEDx training, I would put Dandy Don up against anybody, anywhere, any place, anytime. And if I was a betting man, I'd also say any amount of money, because we go out and eat good. We've been talking about food and feeding ourselves. But Dr. Karen Perkins is with us today, and just a fantastic person talking about living your lifestyle, the first-class lifestyle. And she talks about, what we've been talking about in previous shows about living the laptop lifestyle career. And she and her husband, Darwin, they live the life that they want to, because not only are they worthy of it, most importantly, they deserve it, because that was their goal they set up. This is who we are. This is who we're going to be. This is the way it's going to be. And we don't worry about the consequences or what others say. But Dr. Karen, would you be so kind as to share how people can get in touch with you, and anything you'd like to offer today, feel free to.
Hey, you know what? I do have something, and it's real easy to get. If they text in YFIN to the following number, you ready for this? 855-864-0532. So let's repeat that. 855-864-0532. One of the things, and then they type in YFIN. Guess what that stands for?
Say that acronym again, please, ma'am.
YFIN. What do you think that stands for?
Your first.
No. What's your name of your show?
Oh, your future is now.
Oh, well, gosh, of course.
You know, ladies and
To
gentlemen,
get all
Danny Dodd is
analytical
a,
about it, you know?
Danny
Gosh.
Dodd is an engineer, and he thinks very deeply on stuff, and I'm just dumb, so I don't think at all.
And you're all thinking
Awesome.
that has to have something to do with Karen.
Oh, mercy.
Awesome.
That was cool. That was a left hook I did not see coming. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, you know me,
also
I love
after
a
the
left
show,
hook.
I'm going to be putting a description of all the information we covered here, so we get the websites to Dr. Karen Perkins and how to get in touch with her on the offer that she made. That'll be in the description in the podcast. It should be published later on this afternoon. Therefore, you can download it and send it to others. You can also listen to it and stop the program wherever you like and make sure you get the information you need, or you can just read the description there at toganet.com. Just go to our shows, upper left, come down to Mine and Don's picture, click on either one, and presto, you will be there, and you'll see Dr. Karen Perkins' picture there. And Dandy Don, I tell you, she caught us off surprise at that. You know,
Yeah,
your picture is now.
Yeah, maybe I had too much coffee or something today. It's so it's like looking at something that's just so obvious that you're like, oh, it's wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff.
I tell you, yeah, because like I was saying,
You still there, Jim?
Well, Karen's here. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Karen. I wasn't sure if I dropped or if Jim dropped, but we're wrapping up and must have had some technical difficulties, but that's just the way we roll. Things just can happen sometimes.
Hey, it happens.
yeah.
Well,
it just
if I have
happens,
2
and that's
seconds,
Sure.
that's
what
just
I'm
the way we
gonna be
roll.
sending them is what I call mind hacks, and it's part of what I give people. But I'm going to be sending them I Am Motivated, which is a self-affirmation, and some kind of a self-hypnosis thing. But if they text in that YFIN to the 855-864-0532, they'll get that one, and I'll send them I Am Worthy as well.
All right. So make sure you do it. It's been a fantastic show. Thanks you so much, Karen.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you can hear me, if I'm back alive, we'll catch you next week, same time. Have a wonderful weekend, and thanks again.